pay. Everybody put your stems up high. If PI got your eye riding the friendly sky. Everybody hold your stems up high. If PI got your eye riding the friendly sky. Everybody hold your stems up high. If PI got your eye riding the friendly sky. Everybody put your stems up high. If PI got your eye riding the friendly sky.
What up, Marcus Cage? Wow, that was a harsh cut there. Sorry about that. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Slow News Day Morning Edition. My name is Steve-Poikonen, and I'm hanging out here in Central California, a couple of days before, the birth of our Lord, Jesus. Um, Happy holidays to everybody. Hope you're doing well. Got a lot to talk about, a lot to go through, a lot of funny stuff. I'm not sure how much of it I can do on YouTube. So while I'm here, let's say good morning to everyone hanging out, and let's run through the business. That QR code in the corner of your screen there belongs to Matrix Bars. They occasionally send me a box, and inside of it, for saying nice things about them, I get some of these. They are 3.5 grams psilocybin mushrooms in a delicious chocolate bar, 4 different flavors. Hit them up on Twitter or Instagram at Matrix Genetics, MatrixGenetix. Yeah, the s'mores is delicious. Oh, it's good. Um, let's see. We have all of the usual donate links running. There is also the emergency GoFundMe because my truck got holocausted on Friday. I will pull that up and grab that link and all that stuff. Right meow. About about halfway, a little bit over halfway there, and starting to feel very, very humbled and a little bit freaked out because I'm also going to have to figure out some clothes and shit, and I may have undershot what I need to do. I will say this, man. To have all my shit burn up and be left with 4 t-shirts, I've got 2 Slow News Day shirts, 1 Convo Couch shirt, and 1 Last American Vagabond shirt. So I'm stoked on what I got left with, because at least they're all comfy. Dropping that into the Rockfin. Good morning to everybody over on the Rockfin and Odyssey and D Live and Twitch, watching it on Twitter, even the people on YouTube. No, we love you guys. We do. Can't do the whole show there though, so kind of disappointing. So let's see, what can I do on YouTube this morning? Oddly enough, I think we can talk about Klaus Schwab way easier than we can talk about everything else that's going on in the world. So this is kind of funny. For the last 3 years now, you've been hearing us sort of, sound the alarm about this, talk about it quite often, bring up the 4th Industrial Revolution, the Great Reset, which we clearly understand to be the complete commodification of naked. Vinny, I don't know how you're used to doing it, but isn't that how you well, I don't know. I mean, I've seen you. You might want to keep clothes on. Morning, Uncle Vin. Anywho, just now. Well, I guess not just now, because the conspiracy smoothie article came out at the beginning of the year. We all remember that. Naomi Klein's little piece of narrative management for the World Economic Forum. But Reuters, and Reuters Fact Check specifically, has got in on the game. Forbes magazine and all of the rest of the usual corporate narrative management outlets have gotten on board. And let's take a look at, and remember, you guys, these fact check organizations, they've already demonstrated in court. They don't check facts. They have opinions that they consider to be protected, and those protected opinions are what get labeled true or false or mostly true. We have these letters, by the way. We're gonna go through them live because we do it live. So Reuters fact check, owned by a former board member of Pfizer, says invitations for Dutch politicians to the World Economic Forum summit have been misrepresented online to claim they are leaked letters and evidence of secret collusion between the Swiss organization and the Dutch government to push the Great Reset, a proposed economic plan, the center of widespread conspiracy theories. Remember, difference between a conspiracy theory and conspiracy fact, 6 to 12 months. Social media users shared photographs of letters addressed to Dutch Finance Minister Wopke Hoekstra and Sigrid Kaag, former Minister of Foreign Trade and Development Cooperation, saying they've been leaked. So here's this particular, which I will be able to bring up a little bit larger when I click on it in a moment. More letters being leaked, this time to later. Let's get through the discussions will focus on shaping policies for the post-COVID-19 era under the theme of the Great Reset. As a member of the Regional Action Group for Europe and Eurasia, your contribution to the work of the Great Reset will be especially critical at the annual meeting. The forum will work with your staff to ensure that your participation becomes a major force in shaping the Great Reset. I look forward to welcoming you in Davos. Yours sincerely, Klaus. Can no longer be dismissed as a conspiracy theory. They've released their manifesto via websites, videos, and books. Their plan is that by 2030, you will own nothing and you will be happy. It's true. The papers are refreshing widespread conspiracy theories, including the Great Reset, as part of a sinister plot for a global takeover by the rich and powerful. Again, this just is rooted in paranoia, people who are deeply upset because we all know that the last thing that a conspiracy is a group of powerful people who meet in private behind closed doors to plot the future outcome of events in a way that will greatly benefit them. Anyway, let's get back to this. However, the leaked letters are in fact invitations to the 51st World Economic Forum meeting, which were released by the Dutch cabinet in response to an MP's request, according to Hoekstra's spokesman. Additionally, the WEF and its affiliates have been open about its Great Reset economic proposals in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. The documents were also published on the government's website on December 18th as the result of an inquiry, referring to it as a typical invitation. The World Economic Forum annual meeting is a summit of world leaders held yearly in the Swiss mountain resort, the Davos. Oh, wait, here we go. Who's Mickers? Okay, finance minister spokesperson says the Great Reset is, in our view, just a simple term, or if you like, a metaphor to ask the question, what can we learn from the crisis and can do better after the crisis? Most certainly it is not what conspiracy thinkers make of it. So that is incredibly interesting because if you remember, the Great Reset as a concept and a theme was around pre-COVID. Anyway, let's take a look at what these guys are freaking out about. I mean, this is just so funny. In June 2020, Prince Charles said the COVID-19 pandemic represented a reset moment and a chance to transform the crisis into an opportunity Never let a good crisis go to waste. To make the global economy and societies more sustainable, the prince's remarks were made part of the launch of the Great Reset, a project involving the WEF partnership with the Prince of Wales Sustainable Markets Initiative and the theme of the January 2021 annual summit here. Speaking during the launch of the initiative on June 3rd, 2020, Prince Charles said, "We have an incredible opportunity to create an entirely new sustainable industries. Investing in nature is the true engine of our economy." It's a really loaded statement. So I think we're going to watch a decrepit old pedophile say it so that we can break it down a little bit. Oh, error occurred. Well, maybe they don't want you to see Prince Charles talk about it. How about you? Yep, you too. Let's see. Oh, it's misleading. Letters weren't leaked but released as part of a Freedom of Information request. Hi. We'd like you to release these letters. I'm sorry, you're going to have to take us to court first. That's the funniest fucking part of all of it. I mean, they're going to do like hurricanes, Vinny. When they run out of the Greek alphabet, they'll just start over. That's how it's going to go. Forever and ever and ever. What the fuck? Okay. So here we go. Let me zoom in on the text here a little bit so it'll be easier for y'all. Okay. Because, again, like way at the bottom with the silliest possible phrasing whatsoever. Well, technically, they weren't leaked because it took an official Freedom of Information request in order to have them released. So, not a leak. Don't worry. Just got lawyers involved because that's what you do when you ask people for a copy of their invitation to a party because it contains no information or suggestions or allusions to the fact that something untoward or perhaps conspiratorial may be taking place. Klaus Schwab leaks. This is why this happens. I guess if you're going to call it a leak, they have every right to pounce on that and hold it up as the red herring to make it so that, I don't know, it seems debunked at the request of FVD MP, that guy. Secret letters from the World Economic Forum to members of the cabinet were made public last Friday, and the letters addressed to Prime Minister Rutte, D66 leader Sigrid Kaag, and CDA leader Wokpe Hoekstra. Members of the cabinet are personally thanked for their contribution to the Great Reset. Let's take a look here. Prime Minister of Netherlands personally writing Klaus Schwab in 2019. Please allow me to stress the importance of the World Economic Forum to the government of the Netherlands. Over the years, we've developed a strong relationship, which was also exemplified by the participation of a substantial delegation from the Dutch government. I look forward to further strengthening this relationship, again, with the World Economic Forum at the upcoming annual meeting. The exceptional documents came into the hand of Forum for Democracy in response to the parliamentary questions from Van Huweligen, who refused to answer the cabinet for 3 months. But after incessant reminders, the cabinet could no longer keep the letters secret. So that really doesn't sound like. And here, I'll grab the link. There are a number of downloads to the letters. We got too much to cover in too little time today. I I will also really try to put out show notes after the show. That hasn't really worked in the past, and I need to get on that. But I'm gonna drop them in the chats, and I'm gonna drop it in the element so that it at least gets to the Odyssey after the fact. But there's the article. All of the links down here are the downloads. We can pull up quickly one of the little ass kissy letters from the Dutch Prime Minister to Klaus Schwab on behalf of the Board of Trustees for the World Economic Forum's Klaus writing Prime Minister, the International Organization for Public-Private Cooperation, Fascism. I'm pleased to invite you to the World Economic Forum annual meeting, take place in Davos, blah. In 50 years since its creation, the annual meeting has become the world's most impactful high-level gathering, bringing together leaders from government, international organizations, business, and civil society to shape global, regional, and industry agendas at the beginning of the year. I mean, nothing about that sounds remotely conspiratorial. Nothing. Hopefully, and by the way, if you're watching this later, you're not seeing a link or anything like that, and I forgot to do it in the show notes, SND show at protonmail.com. Harass me and I will eventually answer an email. I'm also bad at that. I'm good at other things. I promise. I'm good at lots of other things. Answering email, show notes, taxes, money in general, naps, sleep in general. Bad at that. Yeah. Let's see. What else am I allowed to cover? Here, I'll big up Kristan T. Harris, who's still out in New York City, along with guest and friend of the show, Addie Ads, a number of other people covering Ghislaine Maxwell. This is an interesting little exchange. Did I actually hit share audio for this? Let's make sure. Again, interesting exchange here. Isabel Maxwell snaps photos of the media in front of the Ghislaine Maxwell trial courthouse after New York Times photographer Stephanie Keith claims Kristan T. Harris narrating events and linking her to the World Economic Forum is harassment. Go ahead and pull this up here real quick.
Other things, but we should look. If you guys are out there, you know a little bit, just drop it in the chat. She is here in support of Ghislaine Maxwell. At least now your favorite. Probably was before, huh? I don't know. I have no idea. It sits on a World Economic Forum.
Why say that if you have no idea?
I'm just a passerby.
You shouldn't harass her.
I'm not harassing her.
What's going on?
Who's harassing her? You are with the camera?
Her.
With the camera, you are? That's your opinion.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's upsetting.
Oh, vehicles are coming.
Creepy. That's just creepy. This is something that the Maxwell family apparently inherited. Is a genetic trait to stare at, photograph, or apparently pencil sketch the people who are drawing or photographing or filming, reporting on you. That is one hell of an intimidation tactic, boys and girls. As far as I know, jury is still deliberating on the Ghislaine Maxwell case. We can go ahead and check in real quick. Let's see if Kristan's got anything up in real time. I will be trying to get a hold of. That's beautiful. Shit. Let's just retweet that. That's awesome. Good stuff. Does Addie have anything for this morning? Closing argument summary analysis from Bud. He'll be live. One juror was 45 minutes late. Transportation problems. Yeah. I don't know. Let's see what this is.
There, incorrect. Interesting stuff. She was groomed, so you can use her on the grooming, but not on the sexual activity. It was not illegal, like the government charged. So she's already been found basically not guilty of that. According to the judge, it was not illegal activity as charged in the indictment. As you saw it in there, incorrect. Interesting stuff. Okay. Then trial actually starts. Inner city press reporting as usual. Nathan comes out, says, we're going to have to wait for a juror. They've got a train issue. Delayed. I'm going to step off the bench. Clerk says, all rise. And the juror finally shows up 45 minutes later. Don't you hate that when a train is late? And 45 minutes late? I mean, a 45-minute late train? Don't they come like every 8 minutes or something? Anyways, we want to take a moment to pay our respects to those people out there who are boots on the ground in New York City, covering this trial and working their hearts out. I want to pay particular attention to this fellow here, one Addy Ads over on Twitter. He's working his butt off. If you're not following him, you should follow him. He has updates. He posts these 2-minute updates multiple times a day. Very, very good follow. Very good takes. But he gave us an update. Said Kevin Maxwell seems like he's avoiding the media today, and he wants to support those people who are there. So do I. And so he was there, and he's been there every day. And he said, man, we got started really late today. And he gave us an update on how things look from his perspective. Here's what he had to say.
Hey guys, I know people were worried, so I went tweeting this morning. But again, I had trouble sleeping last night, so I had a lot of trouble waking up this morning. But again, someone claimed that some woman from the public came and turned off the sound when I went into the overflow room this morning. So I got there and they hadn't even started yet. So that was kind of interesting. And on top of that, I think Mr. Maxwell is avoiding me. He snuck out before lunch, at least an hour or so before. And he actually went the opposite way. The media door is kind of right around the corner here, over there. So looks like he's trying to avoid the media maybe a little bit more.
She was groomed.
Powerful Addy Ads. That dude's awesome. Big shouts to him. RIP to Maj Torre's Instagram account, apparently. So that's where we are with the Maxwell trial, you guys. Their jury's deliberating. Half of the Maxwell family is creepily staring down and photographing the media. The other half of the Maxwell family is avoiding it. You guys, Marcus is supposed to be at work. He shouldn't be fucking around in the comments. I have no idea who Cody X is. No clue. I honestly don't know if I want to know anyone named Cody X. Let's see. Can't do that story. No. Ooh, no. Maybe. Okay. I'm going to do this story. Hopefully it won't kick me off YouTube. I would like to qualify by saying, Dear Susan Witchicki, you know and I know that I am not a doctor or employed by the CDC or the NIH. What I'm going to be doing is sharing an article with verifiable data from South Africa. I may share my opinions on it. My opinions may not reflect current CDC or WHO guidelines. They are, in fact, my opinions. Do not in any way reflect those of platform owner, DARPA, station management, sponsorship, or advertisers. I've just shared an article and we're going to talk about it. So let's do that. This is, I believe, out of CHD. Where are we going? There we are. Too many tabs. Oh, this is Christianity Daily. Okay, YouTube. Okay. Christianity Daily. South Africa to stop contact tracing, quarantining because Omicron is mild. Now, again, we're going to take a look at some numbers. South Africa's Ministerial Advisory Committee on COVID recently sent a memo to Health Minister Joseph Fala, urging him to order the discontinuation of quarantining of contacts of those who were confirmed to be infected with the Omicron variant because it is no longer viable in the current social and economic climate. The committee added that contact tracing was no longer necessary and should be halted immediately. According to News 24, the Ministerial Advisory Committee, which is co-chaired by Professors Kaleka Lisana, Marion Jacobs, sorry, fucking cracker. It's going to get me thrown off Twitch. Have decided on a reevaluation of COVID after observing several changes to the situation in South Africa since 2020. The MAC argued that more people had developed COVID immunity since last year. The proportion of people with immunity to COVID-19 from infection or vaccination has risen substantially, exceeding 60 to 80% in several serosurveys, meaning measuring levels of antibodies against infectious disease. The group added that since the pandemic began last year, scientists and health experts have learned more about COVID transmissibility and are now dealing with variants of concern whose epidemiology differs from that of the ancestral strains of SARS-CoV-2. The committee said the current efforts to eliminate or contain COVID are not likely to be successful and concluded that containment efforts such as quarantine and contact tracing must be reevaluated. Imagine that, you guys. Imagine scientists looking at new data and adapting to it in order to get the best possible outcome based on the data, not based on an underlying agenda to put humanity on the blockchain. The MAC argued that among the small number of symptomatic COVID cases, testing is not being done as often as it should be, either because patients are experiencing mild symptoms or because testing is burdensome and expensive. They added that COVID testing is also suboptimal, sometimes leading to false negative results. MAC argued that quarantining causes a substantial economic and social burden and causes staffing shortages in critical places such as healthcare facilities. It also impacts South Africa's economic growth as it reduces economic and governmental activities because of the number of people who are forced to leave their work to quarantine for 10 days. Max spoke out about the disadvantages of prolonged quarantine, which includes loss of income, employment, or schooling time. As per the Gateway pundit, the MAC then proposed to immediately cease quarantining for contacts of those who are infected with COVID-19, regardless of their vaccination status. The MAC wrote in a memo that no testing for COVID-19 is required, irrespective of the exposure risk, unless the contact becomes symptomatic. We further propose that contact tracing be stopped. Meanwhile, the rest of the world, or at least the rest of the West, is running around acting like, hey, wait, I'm not going to do this on YouTube. I'll get thrown off. Let me go ahead and grab the Rockfin link. We've been jamming over here for half an hour anyway. That is honestly 10 or 12 minutes longer than I thought that I was going to be able to do that. We are back tomorrow. What's tomorrow? It's Tuesday or Wednesday? I can't fucking remember. At any rate, we are here through the week. Thank you, Steve Cutler. All that. And then check us out over on Odyssey. I have the hyperlink for that. Do. Okay, and here's the link to the Odyssey. That will always get you to the current live stream, I believe. And if not, just click on the fucking icon and it'll take you to the main page. Yeah, House Red Solution 6666. Yeah. Also, the PrEP Act is what gave these demons like legislated immunity, which was signed by Donald Trump, who's a vaccine salesman, a real estate settlement broker for the state of Israel, and drone bombed more people than all previous presidents and orchestrated a number of illegal coups, some successful, some not. Anyway, we're going to get the hell up off of YouTube. Love you guys, but we got to go. Too much to talk about that we can't say on this platform without them taking it away from us for good, even though they've frozen our subscriber count, even though they roll back our view counts, even though they shadow ban us to hell and gone. It's essentially a fucking dead channel because there's more of you watching on Rockfin than there are on YouTube. We still need the occasional cat people and the occasional Vinnie Kirk. So love you guys, but we'll see you over on the Rockfin or on Odyssey.